I wanted to have a motorcycle which was not single cylinder, which gave me comfort for long distance riding. I don't want to spend too much money on it as well. Just want to buy something which I can use it for long. She accepted to come and try jump on this bike and experience it with me, and she also enjoyed it. Yeah, so finally you know why I chose Honda Transalp. Hi all, welcome to another video of Ride for All. So we are in Saigon, and we're just heading to a bike care shop, like to actually wash my bike. I went for a trail ride yesterday and it's all dirty right now. So yeah, gonna get it washed and ready for the next one. But today we are not going to talk about just the ride. Today we are going to talk why did I actually chose Honda Transalp for as my bike, as my go-to motorcycle for everything now. So this is what I use for my daily commute in Ho Chi Minh City. This is my tourer. This is my dirt bike. This is everything. My do-it-all bike as of now. There were many options in Vietnam, but not many compared to Europe or India for that matter. We had less options compared to them, but we still had a lot of other options. By the way, I had a Honda XR 150L before this, and before that I was mostly a classic guy. So XR gave me the confidence to ride dirt, ride off-road and do a little bit of touring and all that. Okay, I wanted to have a motorcycle which was not single cylinder, which gave me comfort for long distance riding, which can help me carry my partner, my wife, and some luggage whenever I want to, which can do weekend rides and maybe a little bit of dirt here and there whenever I want to do it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted something a little bit more powerful than a single. So because I've been riding single my whole life, I never had any parallel twin, V-twin or triple, anything like that before. So this was my very first purchase, into the big bikes. So I had to be pretty careful in terms of what bike I choose and how I'm gonna use it. Just because I don't want to spend too much money on it as well. Just want to buy something which I can use it for long. Okay, so here are my options. My very first one that I thought of buying was the Triumph 850s and the 900. They are inline 3 adventure bikes. They have a special sound to it, and I love that. So it's actually really good when it comes to road performance, and if I have to get a little bit off-roady, then I need to get a rally model, which is quite expensive in Vietnam, over 400 million Vietnam dong. So that is not something which fits into my budget. Plus, I test rode that bike. It's quite heavy compared to this bike, and it's quite tall as well. The rally model, the sport model, Tiger Sport 850 fits perfectly for me, but somehow I felt like it's a little bit too down. You know, the ground clearance is not that great compared to this one. So yeah, I had to let it go. And another reason why I didn't choose Triumph is that I have heard in Vietnam that the Triumphs are very hard to maintain. The cost of service is quite high. The service cost and even the cost for changing parts is really, really high. So I didn't want to go there. So that's the reason why I had to let go Triumph. But hey, they are pretty amazing brand in Vietnam to have it. Like, they have a pretty good rider group and all that. Pretty active, especially their classics, you know, and the Scrambler model sells quite a lot in Vietnam as well. The Scrambler and classics are more than the adventure models, but yeah, it's the same, I guess, everywhere. All right, so the next stop was Yamaha Ténéré 700. This is kind of like the holy grail. Everyone around the world love to have this bike, so I was looking up to it as well. But sadly, I couldn't enjoy that bike. I test rode it. It was quite tall for me. I was tippy-toeing on that bike, and the seat was not that great. The comfort was not there. Compared to Triumph, that was like terrible. But yeah, it was a basic adventure bike, and it was even more costly than a Transalp in Vietnam at that moment when I was trying to purchase. It was like nearly 70 million Vietnamese dong, which is roughly around 2.5k. So yeah, it was expensive. So I was like, and also the cost of service compared to Honda in Vietnam is on the higher side for Yamaha, and purchasing the spare parts also more expensive than Honda, but you can get third-party parts for Yamaha. But for me, why I didn't choose it was that it was going to be my everyday daily driver actually. So if I'm taking something very tall and very uneasy to be on, I wouldn't appreciate it for long. So I actually gave up on that dream of owning a Ténéré 700. Yeah, I might buy it for all the hype, and then sooner or later I might sell it off. So I didn't want to go there, which will be a waste of money. Yeah, so that's how my Ténéré dream ended. Then I looked into KTM. Man, this is where I bought my Transalp. Honda Fatin. Okay, so continuing. KTM. So KTM in Vietnam is distributed by the same distributor of Triumph. So Triumph, KTM, Husqvarna, and at one point even Royal Enfield were all distributed by them. Al Noub, I guess, they are from the Middle East, so they are the ones who distributed here in Vietnam. Royal Enfield stopped with them, you know, because Triumph and Royal Enfield, I don't know what they were thinking. It may not go together for long. So yeah, so Royal Enfield now exited Vietnam. I don't see them with any distributor anymore. All right. Okay, so coming back to KTM. KTM was the priciest of all that I considered to purchase. It was like over 400 million, around 460 or 480. I wanted to buy the KTM 790. That was my kind of like my dream bike. I test rode that bike. I could flat foot on their basic suspension settings. I don't know how. Maybe because of the inseam of mine. I don't know how the seat is shaped or something like that. I was able to flat foot on that bike. So, and I test rode it. The parallel twin 790 was epic. I enjoyed that bike the most, but the cost and the service cost, looking into that, because then I wanted to own something which is going to be with me for quite a long time. I was also considering the future of KTM, because those were the days when they started to talk about KTM gonna close down and all that kind of stuff. All that stories were going online, and I didn't want something that I'm gonna own gonna be stopped at some point. So yeah, and one more thing, KTM stopped in Vietnam. They don't sell it here anymore. They only do the service for people who had purchased it before. So yeah, KTM is all done. So I feel lucky that I didn't buy into it. People who bought it actually are stuck with it because they can only service it here. I don't know how they even get spare parts to be shipped to Vietnam. Maybe they have to wait quite long. So yeah, KTM was my dream bike, not anymore, because they are not in Vietnam and cannot consider that as an option. So finally I came to Honda Transalp. Actually, Honda Transalp was not my final choice because I was waiting for it to be released in Vietnam to test ride. And when it released, I went for a test ride. Oh my god, I was in love with it at the moment I test rode it. Not so much with the styling of the bike, but the engine, the comfort. I could flat foot the bike on their default suspension. Yeah, and I also felt like it could be a project bike because, you know, there were basic stuff on the bike, and I was like, okay, there are some things that I can do and make it mine over the course of time. And Honda is well known for its longevity. You know, you can just be on the bike and keep it in your garage for a long period. And you can see what kind of traffic I tackle every day with this motorcycle. This is nothing compared to evening or early morning traffic. So yeah, I used to go to office this way, and it's crazy, man. And this bike is well balanced. I can just manage the weight so well. How to say this, the lean, I can lean on like around 40 to 50% with this bike, and I can still manage the weight. But let's say Tiger, it's impossible. Yamaha Ténéré, same, impossible. But KTM is the same with this bike. I can manage it, like I can lean like 40 to 50% and I can still hold the bike. Yeah, so I enjoyed the performance of the bike, the comfort of the bike, and I also felt like, yeah, it's a Honda, I could keep it for long. And the last part is the best. Honda owns Vietnam market, so there is no doubt Honda owns majority of the motorcycling market, but in Vietnam it's like the king here. All right, so they literally own the market. Everything here is a Honda. You can see how many Hondas are in front of me right now. Barely I can see any other brand. It's mostly Honda. Of course, they are all mopeds and scooters, but you know, they just literally control the market. So what does that mean? is that the cost for service, the cost for spare parts is very, very competitive compared to other big brands. They can't even touch that kind of zone for service cost and spare part cost. It's just so hard. They can't compete. So people who are really looking for those brands will go there. People like me who are looking into value, cost, and things like that, I don't think they will ever go there. Yamaha has a chance if they can expand in Vietnam and if they can get the service cost to be a little bit lower. Yamaha still has a chance. They should bring their Tracer 7 and their classic bikes and all that, and they can actually get a little bit closer to Honda. But other brands, I think they will take a long time. So yeah, you know why I bought Honda. The initial cost, the service cost, everything. I actually did a valve check and cleaning service with air filter change, oil change. All that to put together cost me like 6.5 million Vietnam dong. And if I had taken a Triumph and done the same amount of service, like a valve clearance, and I don't know, I keep saying valve clearance, a valve cleaning service, change of air filter, oil change, I think it will be easily over 10 million, like 10-12 million. So finally, how to say, I told my wife that, hey, you have to come and do the test ride with me, and she accepted to come and try jump on this bike and experience it with me, and she also enjoyed it. And somehow she didn't feel safe on Ténéré, and she didn't like the KTM brand much, so I had to let go of those two, even though there was a possibility that I could have bought it. So you know why we are here finally. Yeah, so finally you know why I chose Honda Transalp. It's much economical to have in Vietnam. You know, it's similar to owning a Royal Enfield in India. It's so much safer for our pockets. By the way, once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'm almost here. I'm gonna clean the bike, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and ride safe. Ciao.